Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee. I'm here to present Assembly Bill 392. First, I want to thank the chair and committee staff for working with me and my office on amendments for AB 392, and I'm pleased to accept the amendments. I believe the collaboration between our offices show that this is a bipartisan issue and, importantly, a bipartisan solution. AB 392 tackles the non-consensual sharing of sexually explicit media and sexually explicit content of minors to a pornographic site. Let me explain. Fundamentally, this bill is about protecting minors and ensuring consent. In our hyper-technological age, it's extremely easy for individuals to upload non-consensual sexually explicit materials online. Every single person here has a smartphone capable of uploading, sharing, and saving such content. 1 in 12 people is a victim of image-based sexual abuse, and anyone can become the next victim. Once sexually explicit media is uploaded online, it is nearly impossible to remove it. The legislature has passed a number of worthwhile measures to provide protections for minors and victims who have had their sexually explicit content either recorded or shared online without their consent. However, a core issue which has not been addressed is the identification of the uploader and holding websites which host such media accountable. Therefore, to address these issues and protect Californians, AB 392 does 4 things. First, consent is defined in 3 parts: that an individual consented to being recorded, that an individual consented to the sexually explicit material being uploaded online, that the individual was not a minor, as minors cannot consent. Second, this bill would require that before adult content or media is uploaded, the uploader must sign a statement under penalty of perjury that each person in the media was not a minor, that the individual consented to the media being recorded, and that the individual consented to the content being put online. This component will address a key issue by taking steps to prevent media from being uploaded in the first place. This is crucial, as once content is online, as I said, it's extremely difficult to remove it. Third, AB 392 requires that if an operator receives a complaint that the individual within the media was a minor or did not consent to the content being recorded or uploaded, then the operator must remove the video within 48 hours. And finally, this bill allows an individual who did not give consent or who was a minor at the time of recording of sexually explicit content to bring civil action against the operator of the pornographic internet website and the user who uploaded the content. We need to hold these platforms and those uploaders accountable. I have with me today Aldous Wallace, who will be speaking in support of AB 392. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Udos Wallace. I'm an actress, activist, and survivor of the 2014 iCloud hack leak. My private photos and a video were stolen, leaked, and spread across the internet, and it destroyed my life. I spent over $1 million of my earnings trying to remove non-consensual content with zero support, not from family, friends, or nonprofits. Everyone watched me drown, and instead of handing me a rope, they just pushed my head down even further. When I was younger, I wasn't considered beautiful, but when I got older, suddenly people said I was. And apparently, that meant that I deserved to be exploited. Just existing made people want to destroy me, and this is happening to women everywhere. No matter how good we are, how many rules we follow, it's never enough, and we're tired. But what's happening to children is even more horrific. They're violating babies and toddlers and uploading those videos to adult sites. Parents are left to find the abuse of their own children online and relive that trauma just to try to get it taken down. Survivors live with that trauma and pain every single day, like it just happened all over again. Men are suffering in silence too. Many I've spoken to carry the shame of their exploitation alone. That kind of silence is ending lives. And current laws allows this kind of abuse to be uploaded. Now, what kind of sick laws allows this kind of abuse to be uploaded in the first place? And the biggest disappointment has been the nonprofits. I expected adult sites to be complicit, but not the organizations that claim to help. They re-exploit survivors, collect donations off of our stories, and then do nothing. I came from the entertainment industry, but the nonprofit world made Hollywood look kind. And now with AI, non-consensual content is being created from a single photo from your social media. No one is safe, and anyone can become the next victim. That's why we need the PROTECT Act. It's the only bill that blocks non-consensual content before it gets uploaded to adult sites. It requires age and consent verification so children, women, and men are protected before the damage is done. The adult sites already have this technology. They're just not required by law to use it. I have over 10 million followers, but at the last hearing when the PROTECT Act passed unanimously, it was the first time in my whole life that I truly felt heard and seen. And that's all survivors want, to be seen, to be heard, and to be protected. No more placeholder bills, no more performative activism. Pass the PROTECT Act now. It's common sense and it's long overdue. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else here in support of AB 392? Is there anyone here in opposition to AB 392? We'll bring it back to the dais. Assemblymember Zbur.
Thank you for bringing the bill today. I'll be supporting it. I did have a question, though, about some of the details about implementation that the Free Speech Coalition was asking for. Have you worked with them to try to, a lot of those just seemed reasonable mechanisms to make sure that this just wasn't fluff, but in fact is actually manageable and workable?
And there was an amendment. I did not know any of this until I've gotten involved in this, but we've allowed for those sites that might have borderline pornographic images. So there are 30, and we measure it by content, so up to 30% of their content. So it's sites that are 60% content that are pornographic. So not to confuse the right to post images, but there is a line that's essentially being understood.
Yeah, no, what I was looking at was really more just the mechanics of making sure that it can be complied with.
Yes.
You know, how do you, versus how exactly does a depicted individual request that the content be taken down? How do the platforms require, how does this work so that it's not just so that someone who's being depicted knows exactly what they need to do to.
Well, there will be those mechanics built into that. And most importantly, so the victim has a voice.
No, I get the purpose.
I can answer that. Okay. Sorry. There's a technology called the fingerprint stamp technology. So when a survivor or victim reaches out to platforms, they tell people this is the image or these are the images or videos that I'm being, shared non-consensually with, right? And then they implement it in their system that has this technology. It scans the video or the image ahead of times and basically blocks it from further re-uploading. So that's how this technology works. That's the fingerprint stamp technology system. So,
I get that.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is if you would read the Free Speech Coalition letter, they have a number of very specific things that I think would be good for you to consider to put in the bill so that if someone who is being depicted understands how to get this whole process started.
Well, that's very good. Yes.
So I'm hoping you'll work with them to consider elements in their letter so that the bill could be fleshed out. And I think this will just make it easier for victims to take advantage of the bill.
Kind I agree. Mm-hmm. I will.
Yeah, I think we can probably get there. And I think with your work with the opposition, I think there's some details, but I think the underlying kind of theme of your bill, I think we all agree with what you're doing and appreciate it. Yeah. Assemblymember Stefani.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to thank the witness for your activism and your bravery in sharing your story today. The prosecutor and me loves this bill, so I will be supporting it.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion in a second?
I'll move.
Second, whatever.
Okay, we have a motion from Assemblymember Stefani, seconded by Assemblymember Zbur. Yes, Madam Vice Chair, I want to thank you for bringing this forward. It's a very difficult subject matter to have to delve into, but the reality is that we do have people that need protection out there, and I appreciate you for leading that charge. Would you like to
Well,
close?
thank you. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Motions do pass as amended to appropriations. Kalra.
Aye.
Kalra, aye. Dixon.
Aye.
Dixon, aye. Bauer-Kahan. Bryan. Connolly. Connolly, aye. Harabedian. Macedo. Pacheco. Lee. Sanchez. Stefani.
Aye.
Stefani, aye. Zbur.
Aye.
Zbur, aye.
Okay, we'll
Thank you.
place that on call.
Getting close.